Okay, so WrestleMania 41. Wow. It really threw us a curveball, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We were all set for Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
Yeah, the legend versus this enigma, right?
Exactly. And then, boom, injury happens. Friday Night SmackDown, I think.
That's right. Turns out it was a torn groin. Ray confirmed it later himself. So the whole match card gets tossed up.
It really did. And what we got instead was, well, honestly, pretty captivating. El Grande Americano versus Rey Fénix.
Totally unexpected, but yeah, it delivered high octane, loads of intrigue.
Which is exactly what we're diving into today. And the bigger picture stuff, too, especially with WWE buying AAA. That's huge.
Huge. Okay, so let's start with the replacement. How did that all go down?
Well, they announced it on the kickoff show. Plain and simple. Rey Mysterio, not medically cleared.
Big disappointment for Ray's fans, obviously.
For sure. But it opened the door for Rey Fénix. And this wasn't just some random fill-in. Fénix had beef with Americano.
Ah, right. Because Americano attacked Mysterio and Dragon Lee during his debut, didn't he?
Exactly. So Fénix had a score to settle right there on the WrestleMania stage.
And Fénix, I mean, he'd been tearing it up on SmackDown since he arrived. Just electric performances.
Totally. You could tell people were hyped for his WrestleMania debut. Even the commentators, Cole, McAfee, Barrett, they sounded genuinely excited to see him perform.
Yeah, you could feel that buzz. Americano's entrance.
Oh, boy. The mariachi band all wearing his masks. Quite a visual spectacle.
And the announcement from the Gulf of America.
Huh. Yeah, Cole jumped right on that, corrected it to Gulf of Mexico. But you gotta wonder, was that a slip or?
Or maybe deliberate. Kind of like some of that weird promo stuff we saw for him.
Could be, could be. Adds to the whole mystique, I guess. But then, even before the match, more drama. The King goes in the front row.
Whoa, okay. And this was after the AAA acquisition news broke earlier that day, right?
Precisely. So, having a major AAA star like Vikingo right there, it felt significant.
And didn't they have a little interaction?
He did. Americano goes over, there's a shove, Vikingo kicks him. Definitely planted a seed for something down the line.
Man, so much going on before the bell even rings.
Tell me about it. And then when it did ring,
yeah,
action, immediately.
Fénix just exploded out of the corner. That roll through Hurricanrana for a near fall, like seconds in.
Insane pace, showcasing that lucha agility right away. Springboard Hurricanrana, missile drop kick. Just wow.
But Americano, he's not just theatrics, is he? He's got power.
Oh, yeah. That released German suplex.
Brutal.
And those big haymakers he was throwing. Definitely grounded Fénix for a bit.
Looked like he might just steamroll him there for a second. He hit that bridging Northern Lights suplex, too.
But Fénix, man, he's got so much heart. Fought back with that headbutt, the flying arm drag, the double foot stomp.
That rebound spinning heel kick looked nasty. Thought that might be it.
Me too.
Yeah.
But then, Americano pulls out that move.
Yeah.
The 450 sentence splash.
I know. From him. Like, where did that come from? Absolutely stunning. You just don't expect that kind of high flying from a guy built like him.
Total shocker.
Yeah.
But, okay, the real turning point, the moment that kind of defined the match's narrative.
Going for the mask.
Yep. Americano trying to rip off Fénix's mask. Huge disrespect in lucha culture. You know, it's like trying to strip away their identity.
And Fénix fired up. Leaping boot. Then that fire driver. That was close.
So close. The crowd totally bought it as the finish. Felt like the upset was right there.
It really did. But then, Americano shoves him off the top rope, and this is where it gets dirty.
Uh-huh. Referee's distracted, or just doesn't see it.
Yeah.
Americano slips something into his mask. Looked like a steel plate.
Classic heel move. Just totally underhanded.
And Fénix has no idea, right? He goes for the roll through Hurricanrana again, then connects with his finisher, the goodbye Americano kick.
And bam! Hits the plate. You saw his ankle just buckle. Instant pain.
Awful, just awful luck after fighting so hard. And Americano, like a shark smelling blood, just latches on with the ankle lock.
Fénix tried to roll through, bless him, but that ankle was clearly shot.
Yeah, no leverage. Then Americano ducks a clothesline, uses that loaded mask for a headbutt. Sickening thud.
And the commentary team called it out immediately, right? Called it cheating.
Oh yeah, they weren't subtle. Cole was pretty explicit about the foreign object.
Yeah.
Then the diving headbutt for the win. Done.
All over in what, under 8 minutes or something?
Yeah, quick but packed with story. And the crowd let Americano have it. Boos all around.
Deservedly so. But the commentary, they were also talking about something else during the match. The whole, is it Chad Gable thing.
Right. That speculation is just refusing to die down.
Right.
They mentioned his build, some of the moves like that reverse German.
Yeah, and wasn't there talk about him maybe doing a 540 backflip or something, even if he didn't actually hit it in the mat?
Exactly. It just keeps fueling that theory. Is Americano just a Gable under a mask? It's a hot topic.
Definitely. And it ties into that whole presentation, the AI video package with the dubbed Spanish, the kind of stereotypical stuff.
Mariachi band.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's walking a line, isn't it? Is it funny wrestling heel stuff, or is it kind of...
It sparked debate, for sure.
Yeah. About cultural sensitivity versus just, wrestling theatrics.
It's a tricky balance, especially now with the global reach and, well, the AAA deal.
Speaking of which, after the match, Vikingo gets involved again.
Yeah, he came straight into the ring, helped Fénix up. A clear sign of respect, maybe solidarity.
Or setting up that future match we talked about, Vikingo versus Americano.
Feels like it. And imagine the optics on this happening with the AAA dignitaries right there at ringside. Maricela Pena, Dorian Pena.
Yeah, Alberto Faisha Cohen, too. What must they have been thinking watching this kind of mocked-up luchador cheat to beat one of their own top guys?
Awkward is probably an understatement.
Yeah.
Raises questions about how this integration is going to look, doesn't it?
It does. But then they also announced that Worlds Collide show for June featuring WWE and AAA talent. Right. So despite the potentially weird finish here, they're clearly moving forward with collaboration. This AAA acquisition, it's genuinely shaking up the entire Lucha Libre world. People are already wondering who else WWE might snap up.
It's going to be fascinating to watch. Okay, and just to circle back on the injury that started all this, Rey Mysterio.
Right, the confirmation came through. Torn groin happened in that six-man tag on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Just bad timing.
Really unlucky.
Now let's bring in Meltzer's review. What was his overall take?
Well, star rating-wise, he gave it 2 3/4 stars, which for WrestleMania is okay, but not great.
Yeah, kind of middling, and his main critique was,
He felt it lacked drama, just didn't quite connect or build the way he thought it could have. He wasn't fully invested in the story they told in the ring.
interesting. Did he comment on the replacement situation? Fénix stepping in?
He did, and this is where it gets into booking strategy. He actually thought Dragon Lee would have been a better choice.
Dragon Lee. Why him?
Because Dragon Lee already had a storyline reason to go after El Grande Americano. Remember, Americano attacked him during his initial debut segment.
Oh, right. I'd forgotten that connection.
So Meltzer felt using Dragon Lee would have continued an existing story. Plus, he pointed out the brand split issue Fénix with SmackDown, and Americano wrestles on the Raw brand.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense from a storyline continuity perspective.
And his other point was about protecting Rey Fénix. Fénix had been built up as undefeated, right? So having him lose here maybe wasn't the best move strategically for his character's momentum.
It's a fair point. You want to protect your rising stars.
Exactly. Meltzer's looking at the long game, the booking logic behind the match. But yeah, it gave Fénix this huge, if ultimately heartbreaking, WrestleMania moment.
Shows how fast things can change in this business. Completely unpredictable.
On a lighter note, did you catch Shawn Michaels announcing the attendance?
Yeah, 61,467. And him joking about needing large print on the card. You could tell it had been a long day for everyone behind the scenes.
Definitely. Felt very relatable, and there were some celebs spotted too, weren't there?
Yeah, Dana White was there. Got a few boos, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Stephen Amell, too, and Israel Adesanya.
Always cool to see who shows up for Mania. Still the biggest show in town.
It really is. So, key takeaways. We had a massive last-minute WrestleMania switch because of Rey's injury.
Yep. Rey Fénix stepped in, had an incredible showing against El Grande Americano, but lost thanks to some dirty tricks with that steel plate. Very controversial finish.
And the whole thing played out just hours after WWE announced they bought AAA. Huge news with massive implications.
Plus the ongoing mystery of who Americano really is, Gable or not. And the questions around his whole gimmick. It was a night full of unexpected twists.
Definitely. So I guess the big question hanging in the air now is, how is this WWE AAA thing going to change wrestling?
Yeah, and what does a match like this, with its finish and the characters involved, tell us about how Lucha Libre might be presented within WWE going forward?
It's that mix, isn't it? Entertainment, culture, business strategy, all mashed together.
Absolutely. There's a lot for you, the listener, to chew on there. How does this all sit with you?
Good question. Definitely something to keep thinking about. And, we'll be back to dive into whatever happens next in this constantly changing wrestling world.
So as you mull all this over, here's something to really think about. Nobody blackballs El Grande Americano. I blackball you.